everyone, welcome to another process video here at Lynn's Everyday Ideas. This is a layout I called Better When Laughing. It's a picture of my parents. You'll see I'll be putting that there soon, along with the sketch from Scrapbook Challenges. I cut this top paper on my silhouette, just hand-drawn lines on the program, nothing fancy. The collection I'm using is called Avocado Soup by Jillibean Soup. I don't know if you can hear, I may have a little guest speaker today. Our little one got her shots and she's rather ornery. These are my background papers, and I'm going to put you on fast forward with some music while you see my process for choosing paper. Okay, so now I'm back to deciding on which area of the paper I want, and I go ahead and cut it and then realize I cut the stripes the wrong way that I wanted them. But oh well, I'll make it work. The other thing is I tried to stick this in my paper trimmer, and like an idiot, it doesn't fit, of course. So I ended up drawing lines with my Tim Holtz ruler. But I was wondering if you guys have ever done this, cut papers diagonally, and how you went about getting the straight cuts. Because even with me trying to use my ruler and lining up the little dots, I ended up without a straight cut. And that annoyed me because when I went to lay it all down, it was harder to get it to cover the cutouts I had made with my silhouette. So tell me how you go about cutting paper diagonally when you're using it on a 12 by 12. And I did cut some of this out because once you see me cut a piece of paper, you've seen me cut a piece of paper. I don't want to bore you with all the tiny little details. The other thing I did cut out was when I started to lay them down. I believe I showed you the first one that I laid down, but after that, once you've seen one, again, you've seen them all. I used my dot runner from Glue Dots. They actually sent this to me, I'd say about a year ago, because I had purchased Glue Dots and they had no sticky on them. So there I've got everything laid all down, and I'm working on, I picked what background paper I wanted. I thought the yellow was too light. With my dad's yellow shirt, the yellow I chose in the paper, etc. The green just looked better. I did have a tiny rip in my cut file when I was trying to stick one of the backgrounds down and adjust it to cover the cuts. It did rip, so I just used my Zig glue pen to put that back down, and you can't even tell it's there. So there's the photo. I chose this collection because Mom is wearing blue and green, and Dad is wearing yellow. So the greens and the blues and the yellows obviously in the collection complemented their clothing nicely. So now I'm working on finding some things to map my picture on. I've really been trying to use my scraps to mount my photos, even if they're not the exact color, if I can get them pretty close where it wouldn't, really stick out. Just to use those things up. I don't want to be wasteful, of course. So I really should have showed you which colors I had pulled out from my scraps rather than just the ones I ended up going with. Here I'm pulling out my 8.5 by 11 papers that I use for my silhouette. These are actually just the cheapy brand from Michaels. I believe their brand is Recollections. I find they go through my silhouette the nicest. That was a suggestion from my friend Stacia. She is the Dancing Daisy. I'll put a link to her blog in the description. She does awesome work, but also has a die cutting business. But like I said, I got that suggestion from her, and I've had much less trouble with my silhouette since I started using that paper. I haven't gone through blades as fast, and my cuts are much more clean. So that's what I was doing there. Here I am just cutting some, like I said, layers for my photo. I don't want to say usually, but when I first started out, I only ever, layered once, or I only ever used solid papers. Well, I've been trying to get out of that rut a little bit, and I haven't, if you've watched my blog, you'll see I haven't even always been layering square. I've had some, off, or some going diagonally. Okay, so my computer died and I had to plug it in, but I'm back. The reason I chose not to do any off-kilter matting on this was because of the diagonals of the cuts. I felt like the off-kilter interfered, or was too much, maybe, I guess is a better word, with the diagonals that I had cut with my machine. So here I am using a bunch of pop dots to lift the picture up off those strips that I had cut, and also give me a place to kind of slide under some embellishments. These sheets are all from the collection. You'll see me pull different things from different sticker sheets to create some flags over on the side, and just tuck things here and there. I did, I believe, play with using a different title. I think it was this layout. I played with using that one that says "We Are Family," but in the end, it ended up being, I think it was too light to go with this one. It faded into the background. Here I'm cutting the banner to fit where I wanted it to go. You don't feel like you're stuck with flags and things the length that they are. Obviously, you don't want to cut a word apart, or you could cut it apart if it's a compound word, but you guys know what I mean. You don't want to cut letters off of a word, but make it fit. Get the most out of your collection. I'm really learning to do that versus being stuck with, or feeling stuck with what they gave you. Yep, there you go. See, I started playing with those. But since the letters are in yellow, they were just too light against the background. I debated with not mounting that as well. The title that I ended up using, I debated on mounting that or not mounting it. I did end up mounting it, and I believe I rounded the corners. We'll see what I did coming up. It's so hard for me to remember what I did or didn't do because I don't always get to edit these right away. And even if I do get to edit them, I watch them before I edit them. But like I watched this one and did all the video editing probably 2 weeks ago, and that's the last time I really got to sit down by myself and work on anything. So I don't always remember what I ended up doing. But yep, I saw the corner rounder come out, so yeah, I definitely remembered rounding those corners. So if you see, I used some foam tape, some tape runner, just to try to give different dimension to the layout. I never want it to be all flat or all raised. So now I take, these are, oh geez, I forget who these are by. Different hearts and enamel dots, and I stick them down in those diagonals. just to give them a little bit of interest. I tried to use different colors, like I tried not to use the yellow on the yellow. I matched them up, but I wanted them to stand out. I don't know if I recorded, I did put sequins on here because like I said, I'm really trying to use some of those up. I found out, if you watched my sequin storage video, I found out I have way more than I thought I did. And I really need to be conscious of using them up. I try not to have backup container upon backup container of embellishments, and on the sequins I do have 2 entire containers and a backup container, so definitely not a good thing for storage area or for my dollar. So now I'm going to do some spritzing, not spritzing, just inking the dots, the splatters you put in the corner. There you go. And I looked at which different greens matched and picked, I ended up picking the navy, and I believe that's the orange. So I'm going to put some pictures in, guys, and I hope to see you soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.